Hello, and welcome to Divorce in a Better Way. I'm Susan Guthrie, the founder of Divorce in a Better Way, and I have been a divorce attorney and mediator for 30 years. I've been helping families to restructure and reorganize so that they can move forward in a better way. So I'm very happy that you found me. I have created this website and I put content on it in order to help people to move through this process and to benefit from the knowledge and the experience that I have gained in the many years that I have been doing this. So this welcome video to thank you for signing up for my newsletter is going to give you my top 5 tips for having what I'm going to call a successful divorce. I truly believe that divorce does not have to be the worst thing that ever happened to you. It is a major, significant change. It is a life change and transition, but it can be one that will take you and your family forward in a positive way for all of you. And so these 5 things are things that I believe can help you to successfully navigate this path with your soon-to-be ex-spouse in a way that's going to work best for your family. So here we go. The first thing that you should do, I believe you're already doing because you are on my website, you've signed up for my newsletter, and that is, I suggest that you educate yourself. Do not just let this process happen to you. Divorce runs in a certain pattern. There are certain things that have to be determined in every divorce. And the world we live in today, there are a myriad of resources available to you. If you just look at Divorce in a Better Way, you're going to see many of them. I mean, I alone have the website, I have my video channel, I have the podcast Divorce and Beyond, which also has a video channel. I have the blog. I have best resources on here that provide you with information and resources from colleagues and other providers that I think can be of help to you. And if you just Google and go out there and look, you're going to find a wealth of information. Do be careful about how you get your information or who you're getting it from. Make sure it's a trusted resource, somebody with appropriate credentials, but educate yourself because this is not your normal world. Those of us who do it every day, we have, 30 years of doing it. There's a lot that I've learned over that time. And I do everything that I can to put that knowledge out there for you so that you can benefit from it. So listen to the podcasts, read the blogs, read the articles, watch the videos. There's a lot there for you. The other thing that I suggest you start doing, and I suggest you do it early, is to build your team. So divorce is not something that you should go through alone. You definitely need a team, and I'm not talking about, family members or support. Yes, you need those people. A friend whose shoulder you can cry on, hugely important, but your friend, unless they're a divorce professional, and even if they are, I don't give my friends legal advice because I want them to hear it from someone who, they don't know on that personal level. I will help them, but, get your advice from professionals, build that team. Team members can include a good attorney, a good family law attorney. I'm not saying you have to lawyer up and litigate and go find yourself a bulldog and fight this out. If you know me at all, you know that's not what I advise you to do. But I do think that everyone can benefit from getting legal advice from a reasonable and well-informed attorney in their jurisdiction. There are plenty of resources for that. And, what you're looking for often is an attorney who's also a mediator because they are going to have a reasonable mindset for helping you through the matter in a non-adversarial fashion. And that leads me to a mediator. I highly recommend that you consider mediation for your divorce. I'm going to talk about that next as tip 3, but, building your team with a good mediator or professional. Consider a therapist to help you deal with the emotional content of what has happened in your relationship to break it down. So what I've always found, and most therapists have, I've learned this from therapists, is that therapy is there to help you deal with the past, to what has brought you to this point in time where this relationship has not worked, if there's been abuse or distrust, betrayal in the relationship. There's a great deal that a therapist can help you with. Another team member who can help you might be a divorce coach. Now, a divorce coach comes at it from a different perspective. They are helping you to deal with the process itself, the divorce, and it may be the pulling together of your data, the filling out of forms, the finding professionals. Many divorce coaches are very helpful in that arena. Other divorce coaches are more specialized in helping you to cope with the planning of your future, of moving through the divorce process so you can get to the future. So therapists deal with your past. Coaches can help you more toward the now and the future. Also, a good financial advisor, often that will be a certified divorce financial analyst, CDFA, can be really one of the most invaluable members of your team, especially if you are not, finance isn't your world, because getting a handle on your finances, both during the divorce as well as the new world after, is a key component. So consider adding a CDFA to your team. Now, the next tip is decide on the format you and your spouse are going to use to work through the issues of your divorce. So understand that every divorce has certain issues that need to be resolved. In general, those are deciding who gets what, how you're going to divide your assets and liabilities, the marital estate, how you're going to share your parenting with your children, how you're going to co-parent, parenting plan, etc. And then support issues. Who's going to pay child support for the children? How are their expenses going to be paid? Will there be spousal support, alimony, maintenance, whatever it's called in your state? So those all need to be decided. The question is, how are you two going to figure that out? Because the one thing that I want everyone to know is more than 95% of divorce cases are finalized with an agreement, meaning less than 5% actually have a judge deciding all those issues for you, or any of those issues for you. So the question is, how are you going to get to agreement? And you can do that by lawyering up and have your lawyers negotiate that for you. There are some major problems with that. It's expensive, it's time consuming, and you are at arm's length. You are not a participant in negotiating your own future. In making major decisions. You are a participant, but you are not on the front line. Watch my video on what is mediation and how does it compare to litigation on my YouTube channel. So I do suggest you consider, as I said earlier in this video, mediation. Mediation is infinitely less expensive, less time consuming, less adversarial. And with a trained mediator, you are going to work with your soon to be ex-spouse to find the solutions that work best for your family. I'm not saying that's always going to be easy, but the two of you, especially if you're going to be co-parents going forward, need to forge a new pathway to talk to each other, to communicate with each other, so that after the divorce, you can talk about your children, how they're doing, how you're going to raise them, how you're going to co-parent, how you're going to manage life in the new normal after divorce. Mediation is, as far as I am concerned, applicable to almost all cases. There's a way to modify the mediation process to work in almost any case, including high conflict and domestic violence cases. And it is a proven method for coming to an agreement that will actually work and hold together. And that is because you actively participate in creating it. And we all do better with agreements that we participate in rather than ones that are imposed on us. The next thing you need to know, and you should start doing this from the beginning, although it can take some time, is one of the issues I see for people all the time in divorce is they are very focused on what has happened in the past. why the marriage didn't work, who's at fault, everything that jerk or that, person did wrong. There's blame, there's anger, there's hurt, there's all of that. Very past based. I understand that. I've been there myself. I understand it. I've been there with clients. That is not serving you well, because that has happened. It is not going to change your current situation. And as much as you want to believe it's going to change the divorce, it's not likely to. And so you need to focus on your future. What do you want? What will work for you? What does that future that you now have, sort of a newer blank slate, look like for you? What do you want? And I always tell people, create your wish list. What would you like to see in your future? And then prioritize that list. What is a must have? What is a would like to have? And what is a can live without? It's just like building a house, right? I want this, I need this, and I can live without that when you know what the cost is. Same thing here. You also somewhat want to look at what the goals of the other side are, because that will help you in, knowing what you can offer them in order to get what your priorities are. And I have videos on negotiating, if that's helpful to you to play that out. And the final tip that I really want to give you, and this is for those parents out there, you have to put your kids first in this process. This is about them. You and your spouse, no matter how much you dislike each other or how upset you are with each other, are still always going to be your children's parents. And you need to put them first. And that means that you have to find a way to work with your ex. You have to, or your children are going to be impacted. And you can lay as much blame on the other party as feels comfortable for you for how difficult it might be to work with them and co-parent with them. But to the extent that you are able to control you need to put your children first. And there are many ways to do that. I actually highly suggest that you read this book, Partnering Apart by Christina McGee. Christina is one of the leading experts in the country on how separated and divorcing parents can raise happy and secure children. That's the subtitle of the book. She's brilliant. And, if you read nothing else, I hope you would look at that book and look at her website for resources. She is an amazing resource for you parents. I'm going to have her on the podcast soon. Look for that episode. But those are, my top 5 tips. You have a lot of control. I know it feels like you are out of control and the divorce process is out of control, but if you take these 5 things into consideration and build out from here, there is a great deal that you can do to take control of the situation. And what many of my clients have found over the years, and that's hundreds and hundreds of people, is that divorce is a transformative time that has led them and their family to a better place. So I hope that is your experience. I hope that this information is helpful to you, and I encourage you to reach out for more information. Stay on top of the website and the videos and the podcast, because I am always trying to bring you additional helpful information. So thank you so much for signing up for the newsletter. Thank you for being a loyal listener, watcher, viewer, and just someone that you have my support and sympathy as you go through this. And I hope that you and your family can restructure and reorganize to move forward in a better way.